guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're going to be reviewing episode 4 of Invasion of the Dinosaurs. I'm enjoying this story so far. I can't believe when I was doing my review for part 3 I didn't talk about the cliffhanger, because the cliffhanger to part 3 I didn't see coming. The whole she wakes up and they're supposedly in space. You know, I've never seen Invasion of the Dinosaurs before, but I've heard a lot about it. I kind of know what happens in it. I know bad effects, good story. But the Sarah Jane on a spaceship heading toward another planet had never come up in the conversation. So when they're sitting there talking to her about it, and there's the other planet, and you're on a spaceship, and it cliffhangers, I'm sitting there going, huh? Well, I didn't see that coming. I don't actually think she's on the spaceship. Or else I'm sure that would have cropped up at some point. Also, as she notices when they tell her, oh, you've been here for 3 months. First off, how do you get to another planet in 3 months? That's incredible. Yes, incredibly so, as Tom Baker would say. But, you know, she notices the cut on her head is still fresh. So when they tell her she's been there for 3 months, she's like, I like the fact they don't address that at all for the rest of the episode. It's just that little bit to let you know that there's lying going on here, because I don't even believe they're on a spaceship. I don't believe that at all. I think it's all a fake. Now, whether the other people are in on it or not, I don't know, because you have all these other famous people like the woman, the football player, and the book writer. How many of them are in on it and how many are not, I don't know. But I like the fact it does use the little cut on her forehead for us as the audience to realize that they're lying, and for her to realize that they're lying. It's not the first time I've seen that done, where someone's been knocked out or something and somebody tells them X amount of time has passed, but then they realize some kind of injury on them hasn't healed as much as it should have. There's an episode of Airwolf that does that as well. That's been done several times, so it's not exactly an original idea. Well, maybe it was in the 70s, I don't know. But I like it. I like Sarah takes a little more of a back seat. We do see her come up a few times as they try to re-educate her. I do like the fact that the woman leading that group, it took me a minute to realize it, but I'm like, I know her face. I know her face. What do I know her from? And it finally clicked in my head that I'm pretty sure that's her. She played in LLLO as Renee Artois' wife, the one with the shrill voice, the shrill when she sings. Make sure you have some cheese to put in your ear when she sings. And I love LOLO. It's a hilarious show. I used to watch reruns of it on PBS with my grandmother when I was growing up. They would show an episode of Are You Being Served, and then they'd show an episode of LOLO, and I love both. And it's interesting because I'm so used to her talking in that shrill LOLO voice, and whereas in this I'm assuming that's her normal voice, so it's weird hearing her talk with her normal voice. Probably why it took me a minute to realize it was her. That and her hair is a different color. It finally clicked in my head. It was interesting finding out that the general is indeed a bad guy, as I suspected. It doesn't go out of its way to hide that fact. Same thing with the kind of minister-like guy. This story, it doesn't really try to trick you. It's pretty straightforward with what's going on, honestly. Other than the fact, holy crap, dinosaurs at the end of part 1. You know, you can pretty much tell who your good guys and bad guys are in it. It's nice seeing John having more to do here. I got to give the villains credit that when John left to go get the Brigadier to show in the room, they managed to cover it up. And, you know, make it look like the doctor was incorrect. And then when they went to talk to the minister, I like how he admitted the fact Sarah Jane had been there. But you know that old saying about it's easy to hide a lie within a truth or something like that? He uses, even though he admits she was there, he lies about her leaving and about how, you know, they had not found anything and the doctor's not buying it. And I like that when they're planning to kill the doctor, or when they're talking about killing the doctor, Mike is still like, no, we're not going to do that. And even the minister's like, that's right, that's too far. I like the fact that the minister, for his misguidedness, still agrees that no, we're not killing the doctor. He's a very intelligent man. That's wrong. We're not going down that path. Whereas then, you know, some other people in the room might be okay with getting rid of the doctor. It really is. I really think these people, the bad guys of the story, they aren't inherently bad people. They have in theory, a noble goal, but it's one of those road to hell is paved with good intentions things, and that, you know, sometimes you slowly become the villain without realizing it because you make compromises. You have to compromise yourself, kind of like maybe how the Master became the Master, and before you realize it, you are the villain, kind of like Lex Luthor in Smallville, actually, which is done semi-decently better in some seasons than others of that show. I do like their plan to discredit the Doctor and how the scientist he's looking for calls him and tricks him into going down there. I'm kind of surprised he falls for it. You would figure the Doctor would suspect it might be a trap. I mean, he would go anyway, but you figure he would take some kind of precaution. I mean, the guy did tell him to come alone, and 3 is kind of one of the doctors that figures he can take care of himself. I mean, he is, you know, karate James Bond Doctor. But I still feel like he would have taken some kind of precaution. But it is a good setup on the villain's part, because now, you know, the cliffhanger is the General being like, ha-ha, the Doctor was behind it all along. The Doctor like, crap, with his yellow frizzing going on with the CSO. There's a lot of yellow line CSO in these last couple parts. I enjoyed the part, though. The whole story's been good so far. I watched part 3. I watched part 4 right after I did the review for part 3 because the story has had me invested in it. There's a little gap between 1 and 2 and a little gap between 2 and 3. But I'm really getting invested in the story, so I went straight on to part 4. I suspect I'll probably watch part 5 tonight as well. Really enjoying Invasion of the Dinosaurs. It's definitely living up to it's really living up to its reputation of being a good story. And while I have you here, I have another one of my Ultra Sabers I wanted to show off. I showed off one briefly the other day in another video. This is my Saberforge Prodigy. I just wanted to show it off. It's my favorite Saber replica. Barely easing out my Ultra Saber prophecies, which I own 2 of. But I thought I'd show it to y'all real quick. It's not a paid advertisement or anything. I just wanted to show it off. I showed a Sith one last time. I thought I'd show you guys a Jedi one this time. It's a beautiful, beautiful saber. It has that curved emitter that I really like. I love a nice slanted emitter, curved emitter. I'm a sucker for those. Probably why I like the Graphics so much. But this is a little easier to hold than a Graphics while still having some nice details on it. And I really like blue on a lightsaber. You can block lasers. Some good sound effects. So I just thought y'all might want to look at that. I do have another channel just called Prowl 1701, Prowl, with a space 1701, where I review lightsaber replicas, or more honestly, I used to review lightsaber replicas. There's a lot of videos on there though. If that's something you want to check out, or not, up to you. So I'd like to know what you think of episode 4 of Invasion of the Dinosaurs. So let me know down in the comments below. It's always nice to hear from you guys. Other things to do. Go ahead and check out my Patreon while I have you here. I do have a Patreon if you would like to support me on that. There's a link to that down in the description below. Anyone that joins at any tier level gets a free video request. I want to give a special shout out to 2 of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane and the 5th Doctor. I appreciate their continued support and the support of all of my patrons. I also have a P.O. box if there's anything you would like to send me down there as well. And a link to my Amazon wish list is also down there. I update that regularly. But if you watch my content regularly and haven't subscribed yet, I would appreciate you just clicking the like button and the subscribe button. That helps me out, helps me grow the channel, and helps me with the YouTube algorithm, which I really appreciate. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.